Terumot Perik Dalet Mishnah Hey. Until now, we've discussed minimum amounts that a person could give to that from his produce for Terumah. Now we're going to talk about maximum amounts. Says that, so there's a three-way machloket. What's the most you can give? Well, why should there be a most? As we'll soon see. Says the Mishnah, Hamarbeh b'Terumah. If you want to give harbe, you want to give more Terumah. Rabbi Lezer says the maximum amount is echad me'asara. The maximum amount is 1/10. Why? Ketumat maaser. Just like, because the most that we know that there is truma in the guy's produce is trumat maaser. Is, remember, you give to the Levi, you give the Levi 1/10 of your produce, and he must give trumat maaser 1/10 maaser mina maaser, 100th of the total haul. So therefore, there's an idea of a 10th. So that must be the most you can give. Yeter mikan. What if you gave more? So for example, okay, I have 10 bags. Let's just leave these aside for now. And instead of making one of them Trumat Maaser, format objects, picture color, it won't let me do it that. Instead of making one of them Trumat Maaser, I made two of them Trumat Maaser. There we go, okay. I made two of them Truma. Now, but I'm not allowed to do that. So the point is, if I made two of them Trumat Maaser, Truma, and I said all you can do is up to 1/10, then what that means is that one of these is not truma. Okay? It mixed in all of here in these, it looks like 2 bags, but it's not really 2 bags. It's 2 bags mixed together. I designated 2 at the same time. So half of this produce is truma and half of it is tevel. So what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get rid of it? So the Mishnah says, so he gives you a solution. Ya'asena trumat ma'aser l'makom acher. So the solution is, if I want to use it without losing it, I can make it trumat maaser l'makom acher. What does that mean? Okay, so let's take a look. So I have these 2 bags. And remember, this is 20% of my haul. So the Bartanura says the following. What I can do is, zumi takanato, she'asenu trumat maaser l'makom acher, v'yudneu la'levi. So I give it, so he says, you know what, I know half of this is chulin. I know half of this is truma. So I say, you know what, I'm going to take the whole thing, and I'm going to give it, both of them to the Levi. Okay, Mr. Levi, here, you take both of them. Now you have a bunch of other maaser lying around. Let's assume this is maaser lying around from other places. You got a bunch of maaser lying around, that you need to take off trumat maaser. So what you can do is the following. This, goes to the Kohen. This is truma of mine. Okay, that's fine. But this is chulin. But I don't know which is which. So you know what? You can say, this is going to be, based on this on this maaser, you can make this into, let's go back here, you can make this into truma from maaser, it'll be trumat maaser from all of your maaser, and that'll solve your problem. And all you just got to do is give me a chulin in return. You just give me a chulin back in return. That's what he says. Ya'asenu trumat maaser l'makom acher, v'yidneu l'levi she'aseh trumat maaser al tevel shelo. Okay? And the Levi will make this trumat maaser. I make this second bag. This one doesn't belong here. I make this second bag. Let's cut that. I make this second bag. Remember, this used to be this color, right? So I had one that I was truma and one that I didn't know was truma. So what I can do is, here we are. Okay? Let's get rid of that. Remember, this was what I could do. So I gave both of these to the Levi. The Levi happened to have a bunch of maaser lying around and solves this problem. Why? Because the Levi says, I have to give trumat maaser anyway. So I'll give it to the Kohen on your behalf, and then I'll make this trumat maaser for me. You solve my problem, right? So you'll just make this one truma, or it'll become truma, and it'll solve all my maaser problems, and I don't have to take any trumat maaser off at all. The Levi will give you the chulin back, since I solve his problem. In the end, somehow or other, I'm going to get another chulin. The Levi will give me another chulin from his storage. So I end up with, everybody ends up happy. The Levi gets rid of his trumat maaser problem. I end up giving the 10th that I wanted to, and the other 10th, I got back chulin in return, and everybody's whole. That's the solution that Rabbi Lezer gives you if you accidentally give too much. Okay, the Kahati notes, interestingly enough, that as opposed to truma that has to be mina mukaf, trumat maaser does not have to be mina mukaf. It can be shalom mina mukaf. It can be from somewhere else. And that solves a big problem because then the Levi can have trumat maaser in Tel Aviv, and all my, the Levi can have Maaser in Tel Aviv, and I'm here in Yad Binyamin, and I can still give Trumat Maaser based on it, because it's not Minam Mukaf. So that's Rabbi Elazar's opinion, 1/10. Rabbi Shmuel Omer Mechza Chulin Mechza Truma. You can even get up to half your Truma, half your Chulin to Truma. Why? Because it says Reishit Digancha. Remember we started Reishit Digancha, the Reishit the first. How much is Reishit? As long as it's Dayel the Reishit, Kiyad Dagan. The same amount, Reishit and Dagan. But Dagan hu Ashiraim, Dagan is the leftover, so half and half. Rabbi Tafra Rabbi Kiva Omer Ad Yishayer Sham Chulin. You give as much as you want, as long as you give some Chulin. You just have to remember, it has to be recognizable that you gave, that something is left over. So you can give 9 of these bags. You can give as much as you want. You can even, as long as you pour out some of this bag and leave it, you can give it all to the Kohen. Not all, almost all. So we're left with 3 opinions. Rabbi Elazar, 1/10. Rabbi Yishmael, half. Rabbi Taf and Rabbi Akiva, the vast majority, as long as you're Yishayer Sham Chulin, you leave some Chulin at all. And we'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, as always, feel free to contact me at rspolter@gmail.com. I will dedicate this learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.